Dennis Miracle Aboagye wakasa ono A2 Dr. Mahmood Bawumia NPP presidential aspirant na our elections ready nyina enutua the 31st January 2026 ana omode be hihye so Dr. Yaw Eluchum Dr. Brian Champon engineer Kwabena Japan Dr. Mahmood Bawumia ana Canadian Japan. In fact, ebeye buburuja na ebe witness sa particular elections no. Aha, ebe your headquarters na yebisi bia no yebe ma. Of course, see ehwe parliament and ye koso butu enra on the floor of parliament yasim kuma ene kiki atwede pipe. In fact, ansa kra na yebe ko Dennis Miracle Aboagye so ene nsem ni bia o kan on the pandai seat declare no vacant na mo hear some of the eruptions ni bia see chaos pa and on the floor of parliament na nyasem kuma mo hwe bi bra sisi the Enra on the floor of parliament. Hey, yasim kuba. The minority caucus and the majority caucus. Tournament to pa with a revisit of 2020. Parliament sa proceedings. They be an as I witness na kaya ahempra ekota ballot box one chese body dwane no. Na to Dr. Mahmood Bawumia, Dennis Miracle Aboagye wakasa e de afa the current debate ya koso parliament the pandai seat na before na niam pre papa no asemokaya honorable Kwakye Oponkroma MP for Ofosu Arebi o say NDC for no aso person fa kwan bi so aso omo ba aban mu nyina no omo ye say advert bi koso advert ya hye ho dada bi koso ombe yi chief justice of course chief justice advert bi so koso se ombe yi easy ana petitions bi ne nam mu ne ade enti ne omo ye ne de omo ntena odi ema sabi ene ma mfo omo ase na on the Pandai issue ana Dennis Miracle Aboagye or say ono de ohun ni say the Speaker of Parliament Honorable Aboagye also ono ohun ni say oye neutral or genuine in this particular declaration adanya or say in the question case 2021 or say ebra ye who say ohodi dual citizenship after saying the constituency ni bi a file is a petition against him no of course within the period you're serving no or file a still of execution and that still of execution no a buyer no a my speaker at the time who suspended so say my notify is say you declare it vacant now Freddie what happened in this particular case Pandai seat in fact if this is the first time Pandai seat here hunchi you ashowa bani nyina is between Matthew Nyindam one Daniel Nsala no ye NDC parliamentary candidate and Matthew Nyindam currently no ona na ye MP ye declare seat vacant na 2024 ana Daniel Nsala ono NDC parliamentary candidate or file a petition Tamale High Court say enema bi ankoso yi during the Pandai parliamentary election and there was a court in him na court in the ruling by this year November 24th say entire ade ni nyina wa declare no na no kra no Dennis Miracle Aboagye say ono de onte ase say adenti na ade na just 41 polling stations per ana na mistake ewo mu so wasi ade no kwa these four kan nyina ebom na sa these 41 police stations no kwa ka bom na de ka the NDC parliamentary candidate na enu ba bia entine ono de onte ase de nti a was say court no nullify and I say annul the entire elections ni on the onte ase na emu no and of course speaker yes survey no speaker so je ya and was okay there is a mandatory of course and a constitution in actually mandatory a year 7 seal of execution without even the applicant na kasa na the appellant actually filing for this enti emu ana a year Nyindam a file a seal of execution na execution no as it stands court en approve here and as a court en rule here enti eno ana ama a year honorable Smana Babin ono de ono was say nembra no wudi so but miracle so say ono de ono hwe speaker na ni ye ya NDC colors na just every fra na ni na che say no an wo hwe so no di nyuma if say onte ase how different is Kwesi's case from Nyindam case because in either case still of execution was fair but what I realized and I said in the Kwesi's case still of execution you really and tem and away so seal of execution hasn't been ruled. It's just say according to on parliamentary procedures and then back such developments and also honorable etwaso na we notify easy na eno na Dennis Miracle Aboagye say on tiaze in fact na wadwa na anso ha o se hwe wo de ne NDC fo yi nyina no so ne NDC fo yi nyina o mo pekura na o mo mfa His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ne wife Mama Lodi Mrs. Lodina Mahama o mo mfa no be easy se brenu du na Ghana for say aba no ye ntoma wa wo ye danya ye ntoma wo se se ne ekoso ezo ye nyina obi ayi nani wa o de obeka ho asem no o de ye ka wa o nka wiensu no kono tum na ono brofo o mutaka vindication is in the womb of time you give time some time in fact okay Zembibre on the show mumienti ni nsem ni bia okay
I have refused to brood over what it is that the NDC is doing. You know, from day one I told you here that they can do whatever they want to do to the Chief Justice. They have the mandate of the state. And if they want to abuse it in that manner, to blatantly push out the independent arm of the state, which is the judiciary, and we all sit on and watch them. Who am I to complain? They should go ahead and do it. Now it has become law. Now we know that when there's a change in government and you don't like the Chief Justice, simply get your party people to raise a petition that can even include or be on the basis of incompetence, which is very relative, and we can kick out the Chief Justice. So let's live with that. Now we have heard that they've started the charade of raising petitions against the Electoral Commission. No problem. I mean, which government has actually, in fact, apart from Rawlings, I don't know which government has actually, maybe Rawlings and Kufuor, the past 4 elections, all of us have come on the back of ECs that were appointed by the previous government.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm not really, when the will of the people is at play, there is nothing you can do. The NDC can even bring Madam Lordina Mahama as Electoral Commission. It won't make any difference when the people want them out of office. So again, let's all pretend like we're doing. Let's watch on and let's allow them to run over our democracy. Because the guys, they've been carried away. I'm telling you, the NDC, they've gotten completely carried away. If you like, you pay attention. Yes, I'm telling you, for real. See, if you're not carried away, when you are taking decisions, you would always look at yourself on the other side. I mean, think about it. Barely 11 months ago, you were on the other side. Today you are here. You should be intelligent enough to know that whatever action I am taking, I will live with it. And I can tell you, whatever sword they've drawn, they would face it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not soon, but surely sooner than later. Surely sooner than later. And so sometimes when people are filled with adrenaline, they get carried away, they miss the point. And that's what I think is happening to the majority. Otherwise, this pandemic matter is all part of the charade. I mean, now they control the judiciary. They control it. There's no doubt about that. Oh, there's no doubt about that.
But the judiciary is an independent arm of government.
You don't. That's not how an independent arm of government operates. There's nothing independent about it at the moment. There has never been the kind of rogue ruling that we have seen in the Pandai ruling. It's complete a rogue ruling. Both what the speaker is doing in parliament and what the judge did in the court. They are rogue.
The judge says the court had no way of knowing the extent of irregularities in the remaining 100.
How do you judge on what you don't know? How do you judge on something you don't know? Isn't evidence the name of the game in court? So the judge himself is incriminating or indicting himself. How do you, a judge, say that because he does not have a way of knowing what happened, I have cancelled something? Isn't evidence the name of the game?
Yes, but
so there is blood oozing. You don't assume in court.
Exactly.
You rule on what evidence has been adduced in court. You don't assume in court. Now you have assumed to make a judgment. You have assumed that there were irregularities. That is what the judge has done.
If I have no way of knowing, then let's go and do the whole
thing.
Let's correct
that's
everything.
Not how law is. If I have no way of knowing, I deal with what has been presented to me in court. That's why I keep telling you people that I'm not a lawyer, but my senses work. I'm not stupid. If I have no way of knowing. So now you and I are in a room. Then you stepped out. Then blood is oozing out of your ears. Then you run to court. A judge says that the two of you are the ones in the room. And another says you are the one who slapped him for the blood to come. Well, I don't have any way of knowing whether you are the one who slapped him or not. And because of that, I think you slapped him because there's blood coming. It will be up to you. No, that is what has happened. You must present evidence. If you fail to prove that I slapped you, the judge cannot assume that because he has no way of knowing whether I slapped you or not, I should walk. Because what could happen is that the judge could also rule that because I have no way of knowing whether he slapped you or not, he didn't slap you. But actually, I may have slapped you. It's all on the face of the evidence. So if you are a judge and you say that because I have no way of knowing whether there was irregularity in other areas or not, because of that I've nullified anything, it's a rogue judgment. Because you don't go to court. Imagine in 2013, when another Danko Akufo-Addo went to court and the judges ruled like this. Because in the judgment in 2013, there was actually admission, evidence by the judges that there were certain areas that there were challenges. You remember?
Yeah.
So the judges said that because we saw these evidence in other police stations and we don't know whether it's happening in other places or not, we have nullified anything. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? And everybody is watching on. That's why I'm saying let's continue to watch on. Let those who are speaking now speak. If you don't want to speak, it's not by force. When it's another time and you want to speak, you can speak, but nobody will listen to you. Just as these people are also not listening to anybody.
Dennis Miracle Aboagye. Ede na ono ampa na waye calm. Also ono de on ka hwe. If you say on ti ase de nti a already no nipa of file a petition in this particular Pandai case no or say 41 polling stations and a problem na court why annul the entire 152 polling stations. It was only on ti ase because there be a problem in who there. How do you rule? Or are there only evidence on how do you rule? Now, on this same Pandai issue, Anna MP for Asen South in Team for Joe, or say MPP for NDC for Adia or no more, hey, a top B and one perform ye. Now, a idea a noon that or say Kaya, Kwatia by elections, this year, ya, NDC ni was say no a whooping amount of 38 million Ghana cedis and another year involved in that particular by-elections. In the year, NDC for any by elections now, play or parliament was a small chop and no more per day. Into no money abandoned. Was say a yes, as can almost say no, it was security apparatus. Now, when you are when was now then Ghana and they will be mine to trade. Yeah, you had the politicians, yes, you had the SA. I was here, say, Kudita, ACC, among farmers, Benin, and saying, Burkina Faso, and your Bobo countries in Libya fine. Say, what the young say, young Yama ACs war. Now, I am such overwhelming majority. Now, your person said, you didn't see who. Now, I am for M1 mano, M1 mano, M. and yes, in here, and they won't say who near Pessia did. What's what before one Anna on Tiasia. In fact, on as I say, FM na wodwa pa will be a gap na in team for your MP wodwa papa. When we enti ni sem bia okay.
The economy, for instance, indeed, Umaru, no matter what anybody says, the economy was the number one issue for the people of Ghana, and all the polls that preceded the 2024 elections showed it. And we made a clear commitment. It's in our manifesto. In fact, the very first pages of our manifesto captures that point. And we made clear commitments to reverse the economic decline that the MPP had supervised. And indeed, the figures show that that has happened. There has been a 360-10 in the fortunes of the Ghanaian economy. Every available indicator shows progress. Growth is good. Inflation is at 6.3% from a position of 23% in January this year. We hope indeed the finance minister is confident that it will even go lower than the current figure that we have. Look at our debt position. One of our biggest problems was the sheer size of our debts. Our debt has reduced by between 60 to 70 billion Ghana cedis. Our debt to GDP ratio has moved from around 61.8% to 45%. Indeed, we had programmed to achieve that by 2045. By 2034. That has been done 9 clear years ahead of time. At a point under the MPP, around 2003 or so, 2023, the debt to GDP ratio was in excess of 100%. It was 104%. If you compare that to what we have now, you see that there's a clear improvement. Look at the exchange rate, for instance. Last year, 2024, the Ghana cedi depreciated by 27%. This year, it has appreciated by between 34 to 37%. The cost of living, which was the biggest problem that Ghanaians confronted, has also gone down. I mean, fuel prices have come down, transport fares have come down, and I've said this, I'll repeat it. There is data that shows that the prices of up to 4,500 different items have reduced. And everybody who lives in Ghana sees this sort of benefit. I mean, if the cedi was exchanging for the dollar at 17 in 2024 or at the beginning of this year, and today, even in forest bills, you get between 11.5 or 12 Ghana cedis, and our interbank market is around 11.4 Ghana cedis. It is a remarkable improvement, and that in itself allows.
Was it almost said that in the face of a year security? Na yadiji is a chop no na yedi. In fact, there is no article corroborating a year some allegation they say, oh, there is such an amount security spending on just security deployment. But well, the Ghana we can make allegations. Now, Honorable Kwakye Ofosu Felix, Minister for Government Communications. Now, Emra on City TV, and you said, she Oman saying that was His Excellency John Dramani Mama was so man papa. Was there ye ba mun at dear name here Ghana Nibia economy. Was this so Ghana economy? Yashi on senior Bema for and a year so unwilling when you man I said a man in Funina. I could just say with your one say I brandy dear about way and a year a channel. Now hello, I was say Oma bon wedding. If you say Omo Babem na a kappa and can say a Ghana your debt to GDP ratio. Just say o mine a car a compona bonting. Now the susu what to two o mine na a good deal would in a japadi one. Just say any number be any see any num. Oh, Nancy on by no magic at the back around 45 thereabout. Let's just say my idea papa enti mumo mabaso sidi no wo mo amabo honwade wo mo stabilize no enti wo mo abo honwade papa na o kan se ni bebre mu yenti ni nsem ni bia.
As a film, let me tell NDC something. When the NTA NDC for ekura over 188 seats. Now the biano womunye ulterior things ni motives yenye nyoma bia ne bone a ebe pia makowi se yenye NDC and MPP seats ni bi nka ho is because every by election bia o meko bia they loot 38 million cedis. I am telling you.
By election bia ye beye
they loot 38 million cedis.
Omu wi 38 million.
Absolutely, I'm telling you.
Ghana
Fosika 38 million. Eye de omu wi in the name of ye de koye bambonko an. Entino akwatia by election they spent 38 million cedis just on security.
Bambo keke no.
Bambo keke. Isi de mai, isi cost of mai. Entino you see if Nipano ehu se ye kwakoto abana e by election as an opportunity to steal in this country now dear. And they want to create every opportunity. And this time no shede omo chief justice. Into omo kan judges no nsa gu omo achi. As a matter of fact, we have some of the best judges in this country. But kakra bi so omo a they say nyoma bi ntino woman agenda obebo sisia. You see, and if we don't come together, nya patriotic ukrumu ha. Nasi yese ye ba be kukone saa. Ebe man kofu bi afo mo ho adwene. Now we've done by elections in this country many times. Eba ne say na die ye kwa by election ya. You tiated your boka 38 million just on security. And you know, if they are saying that at every by election, wombenya 38 million aye chop there. And ye Bebia Pandai City, Pandai City, Honorable Yendam, winning over 3,700 votes.
Yeah.
And Bebia na Mantime Huasibi crowd.
About 41 police stations.
Who can ampo boom, Nakas would nina check NDC 4 crown, it's just about 500 votes.
Yeah, cospendis.
Bebia na contention wa. And to one of the SARS and the court on the crown. Say, I can't say, Yempe, with a vote, assume, say, 1 year all those police stations in NDC 4 crown as a total of 500 votes. Yeah, the more democratic free one, we still have 3,200 votes. And to know some constituency, we, baby, I say, and they, when you speak of parliament, so. And your clerk is what throw their common easy. Until said democracy na ye wono na enye wo mo fe en wo mbunti no wo mo ye nyoma tro kan wo mo hwe de asi wo Benin wo mo hwe de asi wo Guinea Bissau wo mo hwe de asi wo Mali wo hwe de asi wo Burkina en hwe de asi wo Niger sabe abibi for na nkasa no sabe ya ya na wo hwa edin pa se abibi sabe kabiba minka bi akwasi broni ye no enu abi ne ye ne bibi fo nso ye yi ana enti se wo nya power na be ye nyoma tro kan sa I'm also here.
Right, but Obibi say about 41 polling stations. Obibi say about 41 polling stations. And issues were one. I didn't hear whole constituency. Yeah, Kobosa can acquire rerun.
Yeah, and I've told you the reason, because they will have an opportunity to loot 38 million cedis just under the pretext say yeah kwakobo ban. Now kwakobo ban ya they na the best spend because Ghana Police Service wo mo budget so all through the year no wo mbebo ban. Immigration for wo mo de national security for so wo mo de and this bibi na akokɔ so a there foforo no mo kwakoto afi na ekwa high soldier foforo afi na ekwa high police foforo afi na ekwa to tuo foforo afi na ekwa to uniform foforo afi na ekwa to boot foforo enti den foforo na ekwa to afi na ekwa Black Maria foforo afi na ekwa to den tuo ben what akodie ben na ekwa to ne foforo a we fewer de be mo akọ any allowance a de be o chop money we be for that number of days we be wo ho a we are no free. Why must we spend 38 million? So when there is motivation, so bibi wo why no wo de best sankwan are nam e wo ho dia. E dey say I'm sorry waka. Wo mo de be pandai. E be free nobody knows where next. Enti what wo MP wonni boni bia enso any sifo de wo be court achechere won sase ye ko by election because the nyate by election don't say 38 million esu.
Right, everyone joining.
Zafanat Pania, within the tough Ghana for Monja DNE television, a heavy, a tough.
Honorable Kwakye, Ofosu, Felix, and yet in Ghana. It was ya, aha, Island TV Plus, and your first time one. Obe like video, no. Na, I subscribe it, your channel, no, dear mine. Now, I share video, no, for so, and you be ashy.